Change is inevitable. Growth is optional.
Two roads diverged in yellow wood, and sorry I could not travel both, and be one traveler. Long I stood, and looked down one as far as I could, to where it bent in the undergrowth. Robert Frost. Two roads diverged. I took the one less traveled. When I think of Mesa, I often think of mainstream, or life before Mesa.
Maple syrup. Maple syrup is a topping or food that most of us like. It's sweet, goes well with other foods, and is just overall a good invention. MESA is a program most, if not a lot, of people like.
When I was told I had to write my reflective documentary on what I was saying hello and goodbye to, at first I didn't know what that meant. Over the past couple of days, I've really been thinking about it, what it means, and what I was going to say. Then, one random day, I was at my house and I was thinking about how excited I was for summer, and how it's crazy to think that I'm going to be an 8th grader, and how it feels like yesterday I was a 6th grader that was new to Mesa.
Two roads diverged in yellow wood, and sorry I could not travel both, and be one traveler. Long I stood, and looked down one as far as I could, to where it bent in the undergrowth. Robert Frost. Two roads diverged. I took the one less traveled. When I think of Mesa, I often think of mainstream, or life before Mesa. Applying for Mesa is a scary experience, from the stress of wondering if you will get in, to deciding if you want to leave your friends, your teachers, and everyone else you know in school.
When I first came into Mesa, I was simply a box of pancake mix. The box was torn open by Miss Schoenfeld, Miss Frankel, and Mr. Oliver. The bowl was placed and filled with the mix.
A crow puts rocks in the water when its beak cannot reach. So instead of giving up, it keeps going to make the water rise up and be able to have its hard-earned drink. This describes my life in Mesa.
This is me, and this is my classroom. These are also the people that I'm never gonna give up.
Change is inevitable. Growth is optional. With my 6th grade year coming to an end, I have begun to think about the changes I will see next year.
Maple syrup. Maple syrup is a topping or food that most of us like. It's sweet, goes well with other foods, and is just overall a good invention. MESA is a program most, if not a lot, of people like. They are really nice, and kids from MESA are very outgoing and caring. For example, if you get hurt, they stop to check if you are good. For example,
It's hard for me to sum up my time in Mesa in any way I haven't before. This is my 7th reflective documentary I've made for Mr. Oliver. And each time I watch mine and other documentaries, all of them have the same story.
Change. Change is always bound to happen if you want it to or not. I truly don't like change, but it's gonna happen in my life. And a really big thing that is changing is that I am leaving Mesa. Even when I was little, I was so excited to go to the academy, but now I'm kind of scared. I don't want to leave all of my friends in Mesa, and truly, I don't want to leave the teachers. The teachers have helped me get to where I am today.
Months, it hit me. Mesa. Mesa was the solution. Only problem, you can't just hop into Mesa halfway through the school year. You have to wait and work to quench that thirst. So I began rock stacking. Learning about Mesa was the first step, or rock. Then applying. Then shadowing. Then finally, I got in. But as anyone would know, as a crow drinks, the water sinks, making it have to stack more blocks, which is another example of my time in Mesa. As Mr. Oliver has said, Mesa isn't just all fun and games. You have to have dedication because it offers challenges. But not just challenges, it offers lessons. Mr. Oliver gives us essays and dialogue.
Better than anything we could have asked for. Most of the teachers last year, I just didn't really think about how good Mrs. teachers are. But this year, I've connected with them a lot more. Mr. Oliver is an amazing English teacher, helping you with anything. But he's not just a good teacher, he's nice, funny, and me and him bonded over mountain biking earlier this year. Mrs. Schonfeld is sadly leaving this year, but she's a great math teacher, nice person, and getting us to go to Bryant Pond one more time before she leaves Mesa was amazing. Miss Frankel joining Mesa this year, she fit in immediately. Similar to what I said earlier about students fitting in early. Miss Frankel on the first day was taking charge, having us play different games to get us to know each other. She's also a great science teacher, connecting what we learn on trips into the classroom, making a deeper understanding of different topics.
I miss your teeth and your smile. I haven't seen them in a while. Remember when you stole that peace necklace from me at the store? I miss your mom and your dad. I miss your roommate and your cats. I've never had a kind of love like that before. Kissed my head and left me in your bed to go to work. I remember feeling like I could live right here for years. I had about 50 cents, I couldn't pay you rent, but I loved you and that's all it meant to me. And when you left I was in tears.
Hello, my name is Peter, and I'm 12 years old, and I feel like I'm wasting my life. When you are between the ages of 10 to 15, you have minimal responsibility, and a lot of freedom as a result of that. In spite of that, I find myself doing quite the opposite. I worry about grades, thinking about how I will dress tomorrow. I believe this is wrong. I miss the time when you didn't have to worry about how other people saw you, whether it was clothing or smarts.
Year, and if I'm being honest, I'm excited to leave for high school. But I will miss all the things I got to do in MESA. The memories I built with the teachers and other students over the 3 years I experienced here. Now that my time is near for me, I will take all the wonderful things from MESA with me. And that I am grateful for. Love you all and thank you.
My first and last year seeing them. They won the Mesa Olympics this year because of their great sportsmanship and not giving up. Throughout the whole year, they have shown leadership as they are who I look up to. I'm sad they are leaving, but I'm incredibly excited for them to go to the academy. These 8th graders have taught me to do whatever it takes to accomplish my goal. This program is filled with people who not only care about who they are as a person, but also care about each other. Because of this, I've never felt so welcomed and filled with joy.
We will have new 8th graders, but to me, they will not be 8th graders. To me, they will always be my 7th graders. And the 8th graders, who will next year be freshmen, will always be my 8th graders. The 8th graders have been such big parts of my experience as a 6th grader, and I can say with full confidence that my MESA experience would have been missing something if the 8th graders hadn't been there.
I wish somebody would have told me that someday these would be the good old days. All the love you won't forget, and all these reckless nights you won't regret.
Robert Frost once said, "In 3 words, I can sum up everything I've learned in life. It goes on." Someone once said this quote to me, and I didn't think much of it. All my life, I have been told, enjoy it while it lasts, or time flies. I'm sure you have heard something like that too. I've heard these terms countless times, but I never really had anything to apply that to. Well, now I am an 8th grader, about to leave a program that has acted as my second family to me for the past 3 years. When I first applied for MESA, I didn't know what I was getting into. I applied because I was sick of mainstream and I needed a breath of fresh air. I wasn't expecting a program like this to impact me so drastically.
'Cause someday soon your whole life's gonna change.
Our parents would ring a bell at our house, which signaled to us that we would have to come home. There was no cell phone, there was no watches, no stress, no worry, just having fun in the afternoon. I think nothing shows this better than something I learned only a couple years ago. As you get older, your sensitivity of brightness and saturation decreases. This makes things seem dull and boring. The house down the street isn't getting more gray. Your vision is just getting more gray. I think it's kind of like life in a way. The longer you stick around, the more
I hypothesize if it's the last day of school, then most will be sad, because the play kids have been so kind, just like MESA, and had the same conditions to show the same effects. Beauty and the Beast was one of, if not the coolest experiences ever, meeting and talking to so many amazing people. Everything was going so well on many of our shows, but on our last show, things went downhill. It was the 8th graders' last time doing theater and the last time having this experience. Many were treating it like the last day of school, but for plays. I am a 6th grader, and I'm only just learning what MESA really is and looking at the similarities of a play in the main Environmental Science Academy. For those who have done a play before and are in MESA, you can see some similarities.
Hi, my name is Hannah Grustafialver, but please call me Hannah. Change is a part of life that you just cannot avoid. For example, when a caterpillar turns into a butterfly, you can't tell it to not change. It is a part of life. This year, for me, in my opinion, has changed. There's a lot in my life that has changed.
Ingredients were added to connect it all together and make sure it was going to work. On April 11th, the skillet was turned on and this was serious business. Vanilla was added just to make it more flavorful. Nutmeg and cinnamon was sprinkled in for spice. Butter was melted.
Life makes it hard to slow down. We're constantly speeding up. Cars going faster, rockets going farther. Technology accelerating. So we move with it. Yes, it's important to know what's going on in technology and in the news. But is it really worth the amount of time that it takes out of our days and the stress that it adds onto our mental load? At one point, we stop and sit for a while. Watch the trees sway and the wind through the pines. I feel like MESA helps us connect.
Doing hard things is a spark that reveals your true strength. Like in lacrosse, sometimes coaches might be mad at me because maybe I didn't get the ground ball, or I didn't scoop it, or I made a bad pass. But they know I can take it because they see the potential in me. It pushes me to become better.
But for me, I think of this reflective documentary as the start of the end. The last big thing before my last year in MESA. I've had so many amazing opportunities in this program. I've discovered my love of science, and I've made strong friendships. I know that in future years, I will be looking back on my time in MESA and remembering all good things. I choose MESA. I chose the road less traveled by. And that has made all the difference.
What is the second stage? It is the stage in between raw sap and the finished maple syrup. How does this relate to MESA? It's the 7th graders. We are the in-between stages of sap and maple syrup. We are not one thing, but we are not the other.
At Bryant Pond this spring, one of the counselors there, Brennan, said a quote that resonated with us. That quote was, "Wherever you go, there you are." To a lot of people, this quote was disregarded by some as a joke because, of course, wherever you go, that's where you'll be.
However, for our documentary, we decided to take a look at what the quote means to us.
The thing about
Sedimentary rock. When you first enter MESA, you may not know anybody who is there, and you might think, well,
That bald guy, Mr. Oliver, is scary and assigns a lot of homework. But at the end of your first year, you know everybody there, and everybody there knows you. And Mr. Oliver is a nice guy. Just ask Devin Coleman.
Rooftop open.
2 weeks, when Mike Dufalo asks everyone how their week in Mesa has been, he won't be talking to me. When I see 37 people biking down the streets of Freiburg, I will no longer be one of them. When it's time for speech night to roll around again, I will be in the audience, not up at the stage. When Mr. Oliver shouts, "This is your classroom," it won't be mine. It's hard for me to wrap my head around the reality that my whole life is going to change in the blink of an eye. It's time for me to move on.
The Academy. Mr. Oliver is like a mother crow, teaching us how to stack rocks. So after we get past the challenges of the homework and the brutal weather and bugs and hikes, we can drink the water and we are rewarded with lessons and fun things like Thanks Miss, Bryant Pond, and good people.
So thank you. Thank you, Mr. Oliver, thank you, Mrs. Frankel, and thank you, Mrs. Schoenfeld. You have really made me the person I am today. Even though it's just Miss Frankel's first year, I think she's doing a great job. I think she has succeeded in so many ways and have gone above and beyond for all of us.
Those are our drinks. That's why Mesa is important. It teaches you how to go about life responsibly. It's physical well-being advice, such as just like an onion, or mental health advice, like every one song is welcome as long as it's appropriate on the Mesa playlist.
If I could describe this year for me in one word, it would be supported. My most memorable moments this year was the zip line at Bryant Pond in the fall. I remember climbing up the tree platform and I was getting more nervous with every step. To be honest, now I can't remember exactly what I felt at the top. But what stays with me is everyone was cheering for me as I was going down the zip line.
For a while there it was rough, but lately
The best things in life are the people we love, the places we've been, and the memories we made along the way. This quote reminds me of the school year in so many ways. It reminds me of the memories I will have forever, the places I have been, and the friendships I have, and ones that have gotten stronger. I made tons of new friendships because of MESA. The new friendships I have made helped my learning.
Maybe my 6th grade year could have been the spark to show my true strength in 8th grade year. Speech night was a very hard thing for me, but doing it is 100% going to help me in high school. I loved my speech, but I hated presenting it. If you do hard things, they eventually become easier and easier.
So now, as a 7th grader, I'm like the middle child. I'm not the center of attention like the 6th graders, and not exactly seen as the responsible ones. I'm kind of just there. That is what I'm saying goodbye to. I'm saying goodbye to being the middle child. I'm saying goodbye to having to choose a speech for speech night. I'm saying goodbye to be putting in an EXP group for someone older than me. I'm saying goodbye to 7th grade.
It's time to say goodbye, but I think goodbyes are sad. and I'd rather say hello. Hello to a New Adventure by Ernie Harwell. As my time in Mesa is coming to an end, I have begun to feel many feelings. Feelings of sadness about leaving, feelings of being scared of growing up, feelings of gratitude for the program I've been a part of for the last few years, and feelings of excitement for the new adventure I'll be starting when I get into high school. While it is extremely hard and sad to say goodbye to a place I have known as a school for the last 2 years, I am also filled with excitement. Chapters in my life ending is not a sad thing, because I know I can go back and read them whenever I want to. Thank you to all of the amazing people I have met over the last 2 years. You have meant a lot to me.
No need to say goodbye. You'll come back when it's over.
You never really leave the place you love. You take part of it with you and leave part of you there. Source unknown. Reflecting on my time in Mesa, I can't help but wonder, have I made an impact on Mesa like it has on me? It's easy to see all the lessons I've learned, whether it be with my work habits or friendships. It's no surprise Mesa is not a traditional classroom. 3 class days a week is not an easy or simple schedule to adjust to. Time management, flexibility, and study skills are all important lessons Mesa has taught me. Despite all the challenges I've faced in my 3 years, Mesa has provided me with a supportive environment where I've been able to grow both academically and personally.
Gratitude is something that constantly gets overlooked by many people. I will always show my gratitude to my greatest ability, so in this reflective documentary, I want to talk about everything I'm grateful for in Mesa.
Definitely not infinite. Wherever you go, you're choosing to spend your time there.
You can't just move on from a chapter of your life. Every interaction and every experience shapes you.
Or sometimes it's combined, physical and mental. Like leaving things better as you find it. You pick up trash in the environment, or you leave a person better than you found them. And that's what Mesa did to me. But as we all know, good things cannot go on forever. This year will end, and I will run out of water. And I need to fly on and search for a new place for water. That new place is next year, and I'm taking flight for this next journey, not knowing what's in front of me, ready to stack the rocks.
So to sum everything up, I feel Mesa's community is what makes us special, not our trips, because of the amazing students and teachers. And to end off my reflective documentary, I've made a Mr. Oliver style Bryant Pond video for this year.
All I'm saying is that if you take the time to take a break from this hustle and bustle of modern life, then maybe you might benefit. Mesa has its ups and downs, but I think it really is mostly helpful in slowing down and becoming more observant, but it still has its drawbacks. But in the end of these 4 years, it won't matter very much. Like Ferris Bueller once said, life moves pretty fast. If you don't stop and look around once in a while, you might miss it.
It breaks my heart.
Hard things. But doing hard things can be good for you. It can push you and make you into a better person. If you don't do hard things, or at least things that are hard for you, you might not push yourself as hard as you would like to in the future. I think all of Mesa teachers have pushed me So thank you for pushing me. And thank you for helping me through these 3 years.
Way. I've come to the conclusion that next year will not be bad as long as I embrace the change. Use this as an opportunity to grow. By growth, I don't mean I will just tolerate next year. I mean I will embrace it. Meet new people, try new things, live Mesa to its fullest.
So here's to the cheap sunglasses, Red Bull and minivans.
Fair, and having perhaps the better claim, because it was grassy, and wandered where, though as for that, the passing there had worn them really about the same. Robert Frost. 2 roads diverged. I took the one less traveled. MESA is an extraordinary program that is not for everyone. I, however, do not regret my decision. Not 1 second of it. Look at all the things we do. We have silly traditions like Thanksmas, MESA Olympics, and many more. It's not just the things we do on the outside. The acceptance and kindness of MESA students is unparalleled, and the friendships in MESA are so strong. Whether that be Nolan, Sam, and Dante, or Avery, Jordan, Bryson, and Tenley.
Like the things everybody says in the reflective documentary. Thanks, Miss Bryant Pond, biking, and canoeing most of the time. We also have hiking, Fen, and new this year, MQ. This is something everybody has, but these things are the minor filters in the MESA syrup to make it is what it is. Without these, MESA wouldn't really be MESA, because these are the things that make MESA MESA. Without these, it would still be MESA, but mainstream could also do the same amount of field trips. But let's be honest, it's also the teachers that put it all together and hold it together. Thank you.
Thank you, teachers, for dedicating time and energy. Thank you, MESA students, for all the laughter and memories. And thank you, 8th graders, for the incredible journey we have shared together.
You'll come back when they call you. No need to say goodbye. You'll come back when they call you. No need to say goodbye.
But once I was in MESA and I was able to have those hands-on experiences that had to do with what we were learning, I was able to learn so much better. I've always been a visual and experiential learner, so I'm grateful that MESA was able to provide me with a way to learn that was good for me.
But Rachel Wolshin once said, "If we're meant to stay in one place, we'd have roots instead of feet." I am not meant to be in MESA for the rest of my life. People are constantly flowing in and out of this program, and I think that is a good thing. It allows future generations to find a home, a community, and a family within these walls of MESA. Before I leave for good, I'd like to say a few last things. I want to say a special thank you to the 8th grade. We have been together in this program from start to finish over these 3 years. In the beginning, we fought about our silly karaoke songs and we could never agree on anything. Then we slowly started to connect and work well together. The puzzle pieces finally started to fit. And now I have formed bonds with each and every one of you, and we have all grown together as a whole.
So thank you, MESA. Thank you for making me the person I am today. I don't know where I would have been without you. But Rachel Wolshin once said, "If we're meant to stay in one place, we'd have roots instead of feet." I am not meant to be in MESA for the rest of my life. People are constantly flowing in and out of this program, and I think that is a good thing. It allows future generations to find a home, a community, and a family within these walls of MESA. Before I leave for good, I'd like to say a few last things. I want to say a special thank you to the 8th grade. We have been together in this program from start to finish over these 3 years. In the beginning, we fought about our silly karaoke songs and we could never agree on anything. Then we slowly started to connect and work well together. The puzzle pieces finally started to fit. And now I have formed bonds with each and every one of you, and we have all grown together as a whole.